Welcome to Explore Your Life, Shape Your Future. My name is Warren Rutherford. I'm the owner at the Executive Suite, and I'm a transition planning consultant. Transitions. Moving from an old state or condition to a new one requires us to end the old, and a transition begins by ending that old. Between the ending of the old and the beginning of the new, there's an unknown area. Williams-Bridges calls this the neutral zone, and other workers in the field have called it the wilderness or the transition zone. For us, a successful transition requires successful passage through that neutral zone, and successful passage through the neutral zone requires a sound plan. Others have to say a good amount about transitions and retirement planning. I'd like to pick the middle quote on this page. Retirement planning is not just about how much money you need, but also about how you fill your time with worthwhile activities. I don't want to think about it. Denying that you will leave your career or business someday doesn't change anything. You could use the repress and deny method. You could say, I'll just see what happens, or you could even hyper-focus on one thing. But does it help you in the end? Is it wise to try to make inner changes to yourself when trying to cope with all the other changes that are occurring after you have left your full-time position? So when is a good time to plan? Is it okay to focus on one thing to replace your old job or business? Is that all you want to talk about? And are you okay to become that guy or girl who won't stop talking about his or her lawn, their boat, their garden, their grandkids, or golf game? I am what I do. Why do so many of us fail to transition well? Are you one of those who connotes your job with your identity? You're not alone. I'm a lawyer, or a doctor, or a professor, a financial advisor, a real estate broker, a retail store owner. These are all examples of a fused identity. We believe that successful transition requires separating work roles from who you are as a person. I'll never retire. Or I'll go out boots first. Do you know anyone who says that? What are we really saying? Think about it. Is dying at your desk the best you can do with the rest of your life? What do these numbers say? Reading from the top, 1 in 3 of workers 55 and over have less than $10,000 in retirement savings. 2 in 5 over 45 years have less than $25,000 in retirement savings. 1 in 4 have no retirement savings, and 4 out of 5 expect to work beyond the traditional retirement age of 65. The older we get, the more likely we say that we will work into our retirement years. In fact, from this survey, 52% of the respondents plan to continue working after they retire, and most for reasons of income and health benefits. But we are cellular beings, and our cells decay at an accelerating rate as we age. So there is a limit as to how much work we can offer. When will that be for you, and how are you going to determine that? Traditional retirement has been called the golden years. It's a time to relax, golf, garden, do nothing. Like the bumper sticker, no clock, no boss, no paycheck, perhaps no self-worth. So, how do you like your green prunes, Anne Bran? There's a mechanical paradigm from the iron years. It's a mindset. I win, you lose. I must get ahead. And if you get something right, how many people have said you hit the nail on the head? This mechanical thinking can't help us when we get out of the rat race. In retirement, we are not competing to be the quote-unquote happiest person. There are retirement choices. There's the traditional, and then there's keeping working. Is there a third way? We believe there's a new way of thinking. Some people say the glass is half full, others half empty. They're both wrong. It's in perfect balance. It's half full of wine and half full of air. Balanced thinking, we believe, must replace mechanical thinking for you to move forward. And there's a new way of living. The old way of living is on the left. The new way of living is on the right. We can live 10, 20, even 30 years in an active, dynamic, and purposeful way if we choose it, into the platinum years. And what about unhappy spouses or partners? What happens to couples when you don't plan your transition? You could be that Velcro spouse or partner that can't think for him or herself outside of work. You could get driven crazy by a bored partner. The partner married you for better or worse, but not for lunch. And you've heard about golf widows, runners widows, tennis widows, spouses who've replaced their work obsession with another one, leaving no time for them to be together. There's the MLS, and I don't mean a real estate listing. I mean married, but living separately. And that's especially true when one spouse is retired in the house and the other is still working back home. And last but not least, gray divorce is on the rise. Let's look a little further. Persons age 50 and above, that divorce rate has doubled over the past 20 years. In 1990, 10% of all divorces were by people age 50 and above. In 2009, 25% of all divorces were by people aged 50 and above. It's projected to continue to increase. Well, let's look at George. George is a successful CPA who gave transition advice to others, but he didn't heed his own until he had a heart attack. That's when he decided to make a business and a personal transition plan. And then there's Susan. She's a successful business coach who helps CEO peer groups solve their business problems, but she needed help to solve hers. She wanted to move on, but couldn't share it with anyone until she found a transition planning consultant. The consultant helped Susan see a new future, create a plan to transfer the peer group to another person, and create an income stream to supplement her retirement funds. Here's a preparedness chart to live your life in the platinum years. Preparing for that transition involves these 5 areas: psychological, emotional, intellectual, lifestyle, and spiritual. What's your decision-making style? As a transition planning consultant, I use a proprietary decision-making questionnaire that's been developed from over 30 years of research to help define your decision-making style. And I use this information to help guide you through your transition process. I talked earlier about balance. Well, we work with balancing decisions. Hold the alternatives, sort of like hold the butter. Both of these boats will sail. Each has its upsides and downsides. We'll help you hold attention by helping you imagine yourself in one boat and then the other. Which feels better? After discussion, that's your choice. We also use a process of 7 strategic steps to help you make successful decisions. This method helps you make well-rounded, thoughtful, meaningful, and purposeful decisions about your future. First, we work with you to expand your thinking. Second, we help you view yourself as a whole person. Third, we apply a balanced approach with you to think about what's next. Fourth, we work with you to create a spectrum of options. Fifth, I'll work with you to develop a whole system approach for analyzing all the possibilities in your personal and your business future. Sixth, I'll work with you to go deeper to make your final decisions. And seventh, I'll be there to help you take meaningful action. And then there's the psychological preparation, the 7 A's that bind and the 7 R's that free. As you look over this list on the left and then on the right, are you inclined to want to learn how to turn right? We've developed a framework for a purposeful life. We help you go through 10 life aspects to determine how you can develop a purposeful life after work. These include your physical health, intellectual stimulation, recreational creative activity, activities with your spouse and partner, activities with other family members, the residence where you want to live, social connections, your spirituality and faith, income-producing work, and volunteer philanthropic opportunities and activities. Have you thought about your transition workscape? What's next for you? Many have indicated there's 4 phases to retirement. There's the pre-retirement phase, the career intermission, re-engagement, and then leisure. The Platinum Years planning process helps you define for yourself fulfillment, purpose, and a life of significance. Here are a few questions for you to think about. It's part of what we call our identity exercise. Take a minute to answer each of these questions. Outside of work, what do I enjoy doing? What gives my life meaning? And what do I honor and respect myself for? Just jot down the first thing that pops in your head. One of the other exercises we undertake with you is your life transitions exercise. Take a minute to list 2 transitions you've experienced in your life. List your age or the year it occurred, approximate, and a lesson you learned. Okay, now that you've done an identity and a life exercise, are you ready for the next steps? As a transition planning consultant, I provide several different transition programs. Each is geared to your specific needs. We've got for executives and professionals, Explore Coaching or the Explore Workshop, the What's Next Workshop, and/or private coaching. For business owners, we'd look at What's Next Coaching or Finding Your Own New Owner Workshop, and then our trademark Live, Think, and Decide programs. If you're interested in learning more, please contact me to set up a time to chat. And here are some free offers that you can get at theexecutivesuite.com transition planning. Finally, do you want to choose the rutted path to the right and die at your desk? I think not. Do you want to choose the smooth path to the left and have a boring, meaningless retirement? Perhaps not. Are you interested in a third path? Perhaps. If so, I challenge you to choose a dynamic and purposeful new future that we call the Platinum Years. This is Warren Rutherford, Transition Planning Consultant at the Executive Suite. I want to thank you for listening. Please do contact me with follow-up information or access the information on our website, theexecutivesuite.com/transition planning, or please contact me at 508-778-7700. Have a great day.